Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in, really appreciate it. I hope everyone is doing well. Shout out to all the subscribers, gratitude to anybody new, welcome along. Let's talk about Opetaia versus Jack Massey. This is on the undercard of Beterbiev VS Bivol. Now that fight breakdown I've got coming pretty soon. That is going to be an epic breakdown, if I do say so myself, because I'm putting so much love and energy into that. It's going to be about 20 or 30 minutes long with music and like loads of footage. I've been thinking about that fight for so long. It's such an amazing fight. But this video is not about that, but there's a ton of videos coming. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. But this fight is on the undercard. And, you know, obviously I think Opetaia's team really wanted the Chris Billam-Smith fight or a unification. But, you know, this isn't a bad stay busy. I don't want to actually say stay busy. That's a bit disrespectful because Jack Massey's actually a pretty good fighter. And I know he's a heavy underdog, but he does have a lot of skills and he does have a little craft about him, which I've been watching, you know, some of his fights in the last couple of days, because he's a very smart fighter, you know. He can move well and he's a little bit of a spoiler. You know, he uses his attributes well. He's got, obviously, well, let's check out that tail of the tape right now. He's a little taller than Opetaia. The reach, I'm not totally sure if that's accurate, but I couldn't find, you know, BoxRec didn't label it, or, you know, it wasn't on Wikipedia, so I don't know. But he looks like he's long-ish, but Opetaia's also got an unusually long reach and kind of deceptive because, you know, he bounces in and out and uses a lot of like short power shots with those hooks, but he's got a long reach as well. And obviously the power advantage is with Opetaia, but Massey defensively is actually pretty good. You know, his concentration is very high. So I think, you know, he can diffuse fighters. And now he fought Richard Riakporhe and lost and could have quite easily won that fight, to be honest with you. He, like, I think, you know, if you look at his BoxRec, he jumped up from, I think his fight before that was a 6th rounder, then he jumped up to a 12 rounder against Riakporhe. Riakporhe was holding on to him like a koala bear.
Just going through a bad spell. Looks very tired as well here, Riakporhe.
In that fight.
He's holding on here for me, Riakporhe. I think he's lucky not to have a point taken off by now. Here at some point now, the ref.
It was to the point where he could have been deducted points. Even the commentary team was saying it. It was absurd. And the knockdown wasn't really a knockdown at all.
Well, this was the knockdown. Was it a knockdown? No, I don't think that should have been a knockdown. I'd like to see it again.
Riakporhe landed, well, it wasn't a punch, it was just like threw his arms at him and it was an off-balance situation, but the ref called it a knockdown and it was a close fight and Massey ended up losing in a step-up. So, and then his other loss was against Joseph Parker in the heavyweight division where he was, you know, 35 pounds, you know, disparity to Joseph Parker. And, you know, he stepped up again. When he steps up, he really steps up, you know, because he's fighting Opetaia and it's another massive step up. And, you know, I think ultimately you do have to ask yourself, how's Jack Massey going to win this fight? I think it could be competitive and it could look like one of those sort of competitive moments, but is Jack Massey going to be able to do enough in the rounds to win the rounds? For me, probably not, just based off of his style. He's going to have to get a bit more adventurous. He can't just completely box off the back foot all the time, I don't think. A big part of this, no, this is his first southpaw to fight. what a fight to have as a first southpaw to face, Opetaia. Absolute animal. Anyone that's known or watched this channel, shout out to you. You will know I'm extremely high on this guy. I think he's absolutely amazing. I really do. Shane McGuigan was playing down Opetaia recently in the last couple of days. I don't know where I heard it. I saw an interview with him earlier today. He was still playing him down a little bit more, but he was saying, you know, what's the hype and all this stuff? Even though your fighter, Chris Billam-Smith, clearly swerved Opetaia. They got a unification, so that's fair enough. You know, boxing's a business. Can't grumble that. But, you know, to play down and not kind of make out Opetaia as not this beast, which he definitely is. I think he is, you know, because he was saying, well, you know, he only beat Jordan Thompson and who's the other guy? Be it Ozoro, and he was saying Bradis wasn't himself because he wasn't well and he's 40 years old and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, but there's still, like, you know, the Bradis one fight, and there's still the eye test, and there's still the mentality test, and there's still the, just look at his. I've always spoken about this about Opetaia. His energy is outrageous. He wants to fight and he just loves it. And he's an Olympian. His style is very, it's like, you know, similar to Bivol's, but he's power driven with it. He loves coming forward with it and being aggressive and throwing power shots.
Oh,
He rolled the dice. The come came up snake.
And his more powerful version, and he's got that beautiful pendulum step, and he's almost like a ballerina with his front foot. Probably won't like it that I said that. I mean it in the nicest way, because he's so fleet-footed with that front foot. I'll show you this clip against Thompson, where, I mean, he battered Thompson badly. I mean, he was just like, that was wow, electrifying. But his footwork, where he just comes in and steps on the outside and then crack.
Jordan, one more round. He has to produce something here, and he goes again.
But Jordan's struggling with the range because of Jai Opetaia's southpaw stance. He can't seem to roll.
And Massey's got to look out for that. And in fact, talking about that foot situation with southpaw and, you know, orthodox is going to be a massive one. And Jack Massey is very cute defensively. You know, he sees things coming and he can read the fight quicker than most fighters. He's defensively very good. You know, he really is. He moves well, like I said, you know, moves where he needs to be. Opetaia's footwork's a bit more dynamic and a bit more faster. But, you know, Jack Massey, his brain works fast, so it moves his feet where they need to be in his hands. He's defensively responsible. He doesn't overcommit. He slows the pace down. But it could be a puzzle for Opetaia to not get frustrated. Because, you know, I think Bradis in the Bradis 2 fight, Opetaia definitely either got frustrated or he kind of took his mind off the game because he was winning so decisively. And perhaps that was part of the plan. Bradis is a very crafty fighter, so he lulled him into maybe a sleeping mode and then caught him with a massive uppercut.
The come came up snake eyes. As Opetaia stepping in now.
Good shot there, good uppercut there from Bradis.
And a 2-1 bang on the jaw, hurt him a couple of times down the stretch. Opetaia definitely won. I don't think there was any doubt that he won that fight, but Bradis made it interesting. But Massey doesn't have that type of power to change the fight, or, you know, I don't think personally. But, you know, he can get sneaky with some of his shots, you know, and, you know, it's just like, is he going to be able to do that for 7 or 8 rounds? I just don't think he's going to be able to hurt or stop Opetaia. Opetaia's chin is one of the best in the business, and he's got an incredible heart too. So those two things right there were figured out in that Bradis 10th round where he got his jaw broken, didn't go down and fought on and tried to win that round at the end of it. I mean, that's just a check heart, check chin. So again, how's Massey going to win? Is he going to befuddle and bamboozle Opetaia? Probably. I think he'll probably be on the back foot for quite a bit of this fight. I think Opetaia is going to do what he normally does and bounce with that pendulum step, trying to get that backhand going and be aggressive and do what he does. I think a left hand to the body for Opetaia is probably a good shout if he can get close enough. And now he was throwing that quite a lot against, he throws it a lot in general, to be honest, but I think, you know, against Thompson he was doing it. I'll try and pull up some clips as I'm talking, but...
Orthodox with the left-handed. Well, they know it doesn't break.
Like I say, he's still probably 2. I mean...
That's a good shot for him. Why? Because when you're fighting a defensive fighter, you know, the body doesn't move, you know, it's there. You know, Massey doesn't really move his head like that. But I just think it's a bigger target. I think there's definitely opportunities for some straight lefts to the body with a jab, blinding the jab and then straight lefts. Now, this is the interesting part of this fight, is the lead hand battle. Where you have obviously an orthodox, where Massey actually likes to use his lead hand out like that, regardless of who he's fighting, even if he's fighting an orthodox fighter.
Stage. No, that was a good shot, and it was rightly called a knockdown. Yet he was less hurt by that shot.
Just up the road.
he's doing this, right? That is going to be paramount in fighting a southpaw. Why? Because you get obviously the feet is a big battle, but then you have the hands, the jousting, fencing situation that goes on, which for his first southpaw fighting, it's going to be difficult, because one of the things I actually said about Jai Opetaia, two of the things I've said I would love to see him improve on is his lead hand. Right, lead hand is such a beautiful weapon, really. Not talking about jabbing, I'm talking about the lead hand, how you set up the other punches. Look at Alexander Usyk. Now, yes, I know, very high standard to compare a lead hand to. He's got probably one of the best, if not the best, lead hands in the game. Dmitry Bivol does too, and it's like a magic wand. I've described it before as, and Opetaia, sometimes he'll move it without that much purpose, in my opinion. And Massey actually has some purpose to his lead hand. You know, he's definitely trying to befuddle and blind and distract his opponent, and, you know, use it for creatively to gain an advantage. And that battle for me is going to be really fascinating, is who can you know, use their lead hand more effectively to be able to either, you know, Massey's not necessarily a counter puncher like that, but he's going to have to get a bit, you know, more assertive with his offense to score some points. He's got a sneaky 1-2.
Good shot. You know, he's won if he wins every round, or almost every round. Good shot there from Massey. He's
a very basic fighter when it comes to offense, but defensively he's got a lot of layers to him, I think. You know, these are they're just my opinions, you know what I mean? You're welcome to your own, leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. But ultimately, Jai Opetaia, I think, is going to, you know, I don't want to say dominate, but control the fight with his presence and his power, obviously, his speed, his athleticism, and his dynamic in and out combinations. He's got counter-punching ability too if he needs to. Great right hook, mixes the shots up well. But I think Opetaia will just be a bit too much, and I think he's coming off a great win. He doesn't underestimate his opponents. He's been taking these fights very seriously. He knows this fight would be lead to a massive unification fight, hopefully. If Shane McGuigan picks up the phone, I'm just kidding. But no, it's still an important fight, and these rehab cards are massive events. So Opetaia doesn't seem the type to me at all to underestimate or take Massey lightly, and I don't think he will, and vice versa. Massey sounds confident, and again, he's in at the deep end. You know, every time he stepped up with conditions, I suppose, going from a 6-rounder to a 12-rounder against Riakporhe, then going against a heavyweight against Joseph Parker, now going against the world's best cruiserweight. You know, it's fair play to him. Tough guy as well. He can fight down the stretch. He really wants to win. He believes in himself. Respect to Jack Massey for taking this fight, you know. And, you know, I wish him well, really do, because he's going to need it, because Jai Opetaia is on another level, really. It's just a question of maybe Opetaia not getting too frustrated and sticking to the game plan, having some success and mixing up, and try to, not let Jack Massey snake charm him. He's a bit of a snake charmer, Jack Massey. And defensively, I think Opetaia probably learnt quite a bit from the Bradis 2 fight in terms of, don't, even though he was winning those rounds, and I expect him to do that as well, I expect him to come out early and be up by quite a few rounds, but just to maintain that concentration and maintain your discipline throughout the rest of the fight and finish the fight strongly. I'm expecting Jai Opetaia, to win a unanimous decision. I do think it's going to go on points. I don't think Jack Massey's not the type of guy that you can hit cleanly. I'm not saying he can't stop him or can't knock him out. Maybe he will, but personally, based off of what I've seen, Jack Massey's, he's never been down. The Riakporhe, when he got dropped, that wasn't really that, and he rarely gets hit clean, and he's tough, and he's a defensive, very crafty. So I can see this going 12. I like Jai Opetaia on points, unanimous decision, with some awkward moments in the sense that you're just trying to figure out Massey's style. But ultimately, respect to both guys. I hope they come out the ring healthy. It should be an interesting, intriguing, complex fight. And, I wish them both well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I've got a ton of videos coming. As I said, the Bivol, Beterbiev Bivol will be out. I'm going away on Sunday, so I'll probably get that out. I don't know. I'll have to finish the editing, you know, when I'm actually away. So, I don't know, about a week from now. I've had a ton of other projects. I'm meant to do the Bivol documentary I've been talking about. Maybe I'll still get that done. I've got a guy in my gym, Kali 280.
I'm excited for it. I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go. Like, I just want to be able to showcase my talent to the world. I want to prove myself to the world, and I don't want no other route. I want it the hard way.
Wow. He's fighting on the 12th as well. And his trainer wanted me to do an interview with him and do a video for him, so that was a priority for me. So I've got to do that. I've got to pack, and then I've got to work. I've got to do a bunch of stuff before I go away. So I'll do my best to get all this content out. Appreciate anybody watching, and anyone that's stayed tuned till now. Thank you very much. I hope you guys are well, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. For now, peace and love, boxing on the edge.
So 1-2, very simple, but there's some technical things you need to know in terms of when you bring the right hand through. Make sure that your jab, bam, bam, is almost 2/3 of the way back before you start that. Keep them straight, turn the back foot, bam, bam. 1-2. Good. Keep that right hand straighter. Start off with a better stance. That's it. Good. 1-2. Good. Turn that back foot. Beautiful. That right hand straight back to your chin. Good. Excellent. 1-2. Yeah, the key to it is really timing, rhythm, and when you add a step to it, if you're going to step in with the 1-2, bring that back foot through. Just take a step, boom. I'm stepping here, bam. But the back foot comes with the right hand. Yeah. Good, better, much better. Beautiful, excellent. Also, the lead step is actually also important too. If you're stepping in before you're jabbing, try and bam, bam. So step and jab at the same time.
Boxing.
Knowledge.